Two things about XRP today. First, XRP has 100 billion tokens. Where did they go and why and who has them? Secondly, it appears that one of the founders may be selling more XRP. Now, who knows the most about how a company like Ripple is doing? Is it the average person on the street like me, or is it an executive or a founder that's involved? It's one of them. Oftentimes when we look at stocks, we want to know, are there insiders selling? If so, why? Maybe we don't know why, but the fact that they're selling typically isn't good. And by the way, I have posted a lot of Ripple and XRP videos. I've got a playlist. I talk about everything revolving around both of them. Why? Not because I hate XRP or Ripple, because I see so many people that say they put a lot of money into XRP, and the XRP market cap is number 3 in terms of all of them. I did a video on this the other day. Disclaimer, big dumb animal here. Don't copy me. Entertainment only, not financial advice. Always do your own research. Did you know you can buy crypto in a tax-advantaged IRA with iTrust Capital? Free setup, $100 bonus with this QR code or the link in the description. I've used them for nearly 4 years. Love how I break things down? Then hop into my crypto school. You'll get step-by-step courses on everything. Buying, selling, staking for yield, borrowing, lending, even going fully debanked. Plus, join lively crypto chats and catch my daily market updates. And lastly, if you just want to help support the channel, there's a join button just below this video. First, the founders. Here you go. Jed McCaleb initially received, you can see here, $9 billion. These are all co-founders. Chris Larsen, $9 billion. Arthur Brito, $2 billion. From what I can find, they say that Jed sold all of his a while ago. Now, he was the initial CTO that left early on and started Stellar XLM. Then you have, let's go down here to Arthur. He's the one that seems to be out of the public eye, hadn't posted for about 14 years. And then I guess about a month ago or so, he did. And they said, yes, that is him. He's now, I guess, posting again. So he's been kind of quiet. They don't know what happened to his $2 billion. Chris Larsen is the one that you see here. And I'm doing this video because I saw this post come up that says a wallet linked to him moved 50 million XRP to exchanges. And typically if it goes to exchanges, that usually means it might be sold. That is what brought up my concern. Okay, so there's a substantial amount. We're going to keep breaking it down. All right, so here are the executives. And by filings, this is referring to the SEC filings, and that's where this information came from. A total of approximately almost 1 billion XRP. The CEO, Brad, it says that he's going to get 750 million. I guess it grants over time. And currently he's got about 520 million. Then they talk about these others. It says Ripple Agent 3. Later they said it's Patrick Griffin, got 150 million. And then other executives have the remainder of that 900 million. So now we know a chunk went to founders, okay? And then a chunk to some of the executives at Ripple. Remember, Ripple is a company, XRP is a token, two totally different things. All right, now here's where everything has gone. On the left is a pie chart. On the right, it breaks everything down. So you see here, founders, we just discussed 20 billion. Escrow, 55 billion. If you're not familiar, Ripple has an escrow and it has 55 billion XRP in this escrow. They can sell up to $1 billion per month, or up to $1 billion per month is released. So if XRP is at $3 and they happen to sell $1 billion on the market, Ripple, the company, gets that $3 billion. They can do that. It's up to $1 billion for 55 months. If they don't use the $1 billion in any given month, the remainder goes to the end of the escrow and it can continue. Programmatic public market sales, 3.9 billion. Institutional sales, 4.9 billion. All of these were sold to the public market, institutional sales, and the proceeds of the XRP was given to Ripple, the company. Other distributions, Ripple Treasury. Now here's how the other distributions breaks down. This is interesting. Other XRP distributions, Ripple handed out, instead of selling on the market, usually to get partners, products, or listings off the ground. Number 1, some went to executive compensation. Number 2, you're familiar with what they call on-demand liquidity, paid to money transmitters and market makers as rebates or fees to help bootstrap ODL usage, to encourage ODL usage. 324 million XRP. RippleWorks Charitable Foundation to fund social impact projects. X-Spring program to 27 startup projects. They would take the XRP, they would sell it to help fund their development. So they're helping grow that ecosystem. Option sales. When entities exercise discounted purchase options, Ripple had granted for advisory or integration work. So in other words, it could go to whomever. Maybe it's someone that's helping them out, or maybe they're getting someone to integrate XRP or some of the Ripple solutions. They give them discounted prices, and then when they sell it, of course, they're going to be making money. Exchange listing and trading incentives. 28 million XRP paid to trading platforms to list XRP and hit volume targets. Interesting. Lastly, we have Ripple Treasury. What's left of the 80 billion that wasn't put in escrow or sold, it's around 12 billion that's held by Ripple. So let's break this down. There was 100 billion to start with. 20 billion went to founders, 3 of them. 55 billion in an escrow. When sold, the money goes to Ripple. Programmatic sales, institutional sales, that was what? 9 billion of XRP. All the money from that goes to Ripple. Other distributions to get individuals to integrate it, whatever it may be, it was about 4 billion to help grow the company. Not a terrible thing. The question is, was it to the benefit of XRP being used or Ripple solutions being used, which can be different. We'll talk about that. Ripple Treasury, all of that goes to Ripple. So we've got 80 billion, and 4 of the 80 may have gone to help the ecosystem grow and that sort of thing. That leaves 76 billion, where all of that money, a small amount going to, it was almost $1 billion going to executives. So let's say 75 billion worth of XRP. When sold, the money goes to Ripple to help fund their operations. This is a founder that is now moving and potentially selling even more. He's already some sold before. Like I said earlier, who knows the most about a company? A founder or an executive or someone in the company. So if they're selling, potentially, he hasn't sold yet, but he's moved it to exchanges, then why? If you read all these stories about Ripple going to $5, $10, $20, $100, $1,000, $10,000, if that's the case, well, are you going to buy this boat or the slightly bigger boat or the much bigger boat? Most people would say the much bigger boat. Well, if that's the case, then you're probably not going to be selling your XRP. So that's what brought this to my attention. And then I wanted to break everything down to see where it's going. So remember, when that XRP is sold, and it's sold to people like you and I, the money, the proceeds from that goes to Ripple. Ripple has shareholders. Yes, some of the founders, some of the investors, some of the employees have XRP. That's great. But they also have shares of Ripple, which you and I will not have unless maybe someday it goes public. But the money from the XRP sales goes to fund Ripple's operations. It goes to the benefit of Ripple, and it goes to make the shares of Ripple worth more. That is a fiduciary duty of the board. They have to optimize Ripple so that the shares go up in value. Notice I did not say anything about them having a duty to make XRP increase in price. They don't. They have shares. They want the shares to go up. They're going to sell that XRP. They're going to take that money and they're going to use it to fund their operations. What happens when that escrow that I think might have 30 billion XRP left that they can sell every month to take money and put into Ripple? What happens when that escrow goes dry and there's none left? Your guess is as good as mine. Do your own research, but I can tell you this, from what we just looked at, it appears that maybe 4 or 5 people will become billionaires off of XRP. And you know what? It's not you or me. Have a good day. I hope this was helpful. As I always say, I hope we can make generational wealth together with crypto. Thanks for watching.